I agree. I 100% agree. They were on a point drought for the last 3 minutes of the game.
I didn't see it because I knew we were going to win.
Welcome back to another episode of Your Detroit Now. We're talking everything Lions, Pistons, Red Wings, in the world of college sports. Musa, are you ready for the show?
I was born ready.
I love it. Musa, let's talk Lions football. I know the season is over, but we just saw the Bears beat the Packers. How does that make you feel, knowing that we beat them twice?
When we lost to the Packers, they had Micah Parsons. The Bears versus the Packers twice never had Micah Parsons.
Yeah, does that make you feel like the matchmakers were against us?
Yes.
Maybe it's fair to feel that way, but we only beat them week 2, the real time, and then week 18, I do feel as if they were sitting some of their players and Caleb Williams was actually in the whole game, so maybe they were actually trying both times. Week 18 gets weird. So Musa, since the last time we talked Lions, let's talk about what happened. What happened on the offensive side?
The Lions, Jordan Martin really was not helping us out. He was actually costing us. Even Dan Campbell took over his job, and he was doing way better job than him.
Yeah, we saw the stats fly through the roof once Dan Campbell took over the play calling. And because of that, John Morton that's not something that we talked about last show. The news broke right after we finished recording, and so we didn't get a chance to talk about it. But Musa, with that being said, who is your number one candidate to replace John Morton?
I kind of like Mike McDaniel.
I love Mike McDaniel to be our offensive coordinator. He got fired from his head coach in Miami 3 days ago, January 8th, and I think he'd be a great fit. We saw a lot of great play designs that he did with Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. With the quarterback that he had, Tua, we didn't know how bad things were until the end with that quarterback situation. But can you imagine what a guy like Mike McDaniel could do with Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, J-Mo, Isaac Tesla, Jahmyr Gibbs, potentially next year, David Montgomery? Maybe we can get Penei Sewell the ball again?
Yeah, that would be so cool.
So that would be my first round pick. The Lions have already contacted Mike McDaniel, so hopefully we can get that locked up.
I also another candidate. I really love John Harbaugh, but he wants to be a head coach.
He's probably the best head coach prospect right now. Where do you see him landing?
That's actually a great question. I have no idea.
Yeah, I have no idea. It's anyone's game right now. The Giants seem to be the best position to get John Harbaugh. I would say the Ravens are the best place to go if you are not John Harbaugh. So we will see where everybody ends up, but almost a quarter of the league is without a head coach.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Musa, that'll wrap it up for football. Any final thoughts?
All right, Emilio. 6 days ago, right after our podcast, they released the next year's opponent's reverse.
I saw that. I was waiting for you to bring it up. What do you think?
I'm telling you, it's a way easier schedule.
100%. Compared to the fourth hardest schedule that we had this year, this next year's schedule, 2026, looks much easier.
Yeah, these are really easy opponents. Let's start off. But this is not in order. This is not like who we're versing week 1. This is not like who we're versing week 2, week 18, all the way. It just shows the opponents we're versing. And this time we have 9 home games and 8 away games.
That is awesome. Musa, why don't you tell us what are the home games, and I'll tell us what are the away games.
All right. Well, obviously, home we're versing the Bears, Packers, and Vikings, and then the other 6 we verse the Bucks, the Saints, the Patriots, the Jets, Giants, and Titans. Those are all home.
That's correct. And on the road, like Musa said, we're obviously going to play everyone in our division. That's the Bears, the Packers, and the Vikings. Outside of the division, we play the Cardinals, Falcons, Bills, Panthers, and the Dolphins. Musa, some things I want to point out real quick. Potentially 3 cold weather games. That's the Bears, the Packers, and the Bills. Hopefully, we can get these games done early in the season, in the September, October time.
And obviously, the hardest team we verse is the Bills.
Do you think so? Do you think the Bills are harder than the Patriots right now?
I feel like this because I think they have a great team, but I feel like they also had a pretty easy schedule. Like, look at their schedule. Their only good wins were against the Bills. Check their schedule. They verse like bottom teams.
Yeah, they split the series with the Bills. I saw that, and they did have an easy schedule, which led them to go on an incredible win streak. But they're still a good team. I guess we'll find out how good they are this playoff season. But those are the Bills and the Patriots are the two that I was circling my calendar for. But like I said, those outdoor cold games, what are you thinking about those? There's potentially 3 cold weather games.
Yeah, like you said, I want. Hopefully, we can verse these cold weather games early in the season before it hits
Yeah.
December.
We played the Packers at home late in the season, and we played them on the road week 1. So that was pretty nice not to be in Lambeau in the cold.
Pretty nice. And there are every year you have to verse two divisions, one NFC, one AFC. This year we probably got the worst divisions, the NFC South and the AFC East, besides the Patriots and Bills.
Yeah, that's true, but I believe it rotates every year, right? So the last time we played this division was 4 years ago.
Yeah, of the AFC North, yes. No, excuse me, AFC East, yes, but not the NFC South 3 years ago.
Oh, that's right. That is right. All right, Muso, with that being said, we're going to save our prediction to make a special show out of that like we did earlier this year. But any final thoughts on the schedule and what the Lions can do this offseason with Mike McDaniel potentially?
Let's get our grit back. Let's get our culture back.
100%. 100%.
All right, let's head over to Michigan basketball, where some reason, I don't know how, we lost an unranked school to the Wisconsin Badgers 91-88.
Musa, you guys were in Ann Arbor and lost this game to an unranked opponent.
I don't think we had the Yaxel Lindenberg playing.
Well, you did. Look at who led your rebounds. Yaxel Lindenberg, 6 rebounds. He was in the game.
Then I don't know how we didn't win that much. Like, what? Maybe he was injured in the
lead
game.
at one point, Musa. He had a 15-point lead.
I didn't see it because I knew we were gonna win, but
No, you didn't win though. Musa,
I
tell us
said
about the game. Tell us about the game.
I didn't see the game because I knew before the game I knew we were gonna win.
All right. Well,
Like, I
tell us
had
about the game.
I thought we were gonna win. Is that better? Is that correct grammar?
Sure. Tell us about the game.
Elia Kadu 19 points, and Lindenberg 6 rebounds. Elia Kadu 3 assists. Team stats: 29 for 62 on the field goal. That's a 47%. 8 for 25 on the 3-point. That's 32%. Free throw, 22 for 24, 92%. 9 turnovers, 32 rebounds. Percent led was 56, and largest was 14 points. Like, these stats are good. These stats are like better than Wisconsin's. How did we lose?
Most of these are better than Wisconsin's. The one that is kind of standing out to me is rebounds. Only 32. UofM has had historically, this season, especially a pretty dominant paint performance, haven't they?
Mm-hmm.
So this is like the lowest you guys have had, correct? I don't know. I think that is probably the reason you lost the game. Do you have any explanation other than that?
No, I don't have no idea how we lost. Our largest lead was 97.6. Excuse me, 97.2.
Right. So
And
I don't know. I was kind of confused when I was watching.
I didn't even see this game because I thought we were going to win.
Did you really?
Mm-hmm.
So looking at this, what do you think this puts U of M's rank at now?
Next game is against Washington on a Wednesday, 10:30 p.m. That's a late game. Well, it's at Washington, I know that, but still
Super
pretty
game,
late.
But do you think that game can, save U of M's rank? They're 14
I mean,
and
not-
11. They've had some great wins. Let's talk about these wins, Musa. Auburn, Zaga, USC. These are good wins. I don't know what an unranked loss does.
But I think if we beat Nebraska and Michigan State, Purdue, Duke, like if we beat the rest of these ranked teams, I think we can get back to that spot.
Back to the 2 is going to be tough, but you think it's possible?
Maybe top 3 or top 5.
I would say that's probably fair, but man, that is a tough loss. But I think, if anyone can bounce back, it's going to be Dusty May and the Wolverines.
Mm-hmm. This Duke game's going to be hard, though.
That is true. When is that?
February 20th.
That's going to be an exciting one, and that's right after Purdue.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the game leaders. Carson Cooper, 18 points. Carson Cooper, 9 rebounds. Jeremy Fierce Jr., 5 assists. Those are your points and team. Those are your game leaders. Team stats. Field goal, Spartans were 49%. Three-pointer, 28%. Garbage. Free throw, 70%. Turnovers, 15. That's pretty high. Rebounds, 42. That has been the theme of the season. High rebounding games. I love it. Percent led, Spartans were up 45% of the time. That is very concerning considering the Northwestern Wildcats are an unranked team. Largest lead the Spartans got was 10 points. At one point in this game, the Wildcats had a 69% chance of winning. That was late in the second period. That was concerning, but the Spartans found a way and they were able to win the game. This just shows how dominant the Spartans can be, but the first half was pretty ugly.
Yeah, I'm looking at the percent, like you said, percent, the largest lead, and the probability. I'm guessing this was a back and forth game.
It was a very back and forth game, and going into half, the Spartans were down more than 5 points. They were down 7 points. So, I mean, this was a pretty shocking game, to be honest.
Pretty shocking, and against an unranked team.
Right. I mean, at least we were able to get it done. Well, Musa, with that win, Spartans are sitting at the 12th seed. Hopefully they can make a comeback. It looks like there's a spot open at the top, isn't there?
There's no top.
I think so.
There's no top for you.
All right, Musa, any final thoughts on the Spartans? Looking forward to that head-to-head, January 30th.
Lose. All right, we're heading over to NBA and talk about Detroit Pistons, and shockingly, they lost to the LA Clippers, 98-92.
I know, I see that, and I was watching that game. They played 2 games since we've last talked about them. Last game we saw was the Knicks. Let's talk about the Bulls, and then we'll head over to the Clippers. Against the Bulls, Isaiah Stewart, 31 points. He's your points leader. Asar Thompson, 8 rebounds. He's your rebound leader. Dennis Jenkins, 15 assists. Let's talk about the team stats. Field goal percentage was 49 points for the Pistons. Three-pointer, 36%. Free throws, 75%. Turnovers, 9. Rebounds, 39. Percent led, 65. And the largest lead the Pistons got was 18 points. Musa, I'm looking at these stats. They don't tell the full story of the game. The Bulls actually had a 72% chance of winning late in the third quarter. So this was a back and forth game actually until the end.
Yeah, this is a pretty back and forth game. It was actually kind of close when you look at the largest lead, percent led, and the probability. Like 69-65. That's pretty close.
That's right. That's right.
67-63. That's close.
You're absolutely right, Musa. Let's move over to the Clippers game. Why don't you break us down there?
Gladly. Duncan Robinson, 20 points. Tanu Smith, 14 rebounds. Thompson, 6 assists. Let's get over to the team stats. 33 for 83. That's for the field goal. That's a 40%. 3-point, 8 for 35 on the 3-point. That's 23%. That's horrible, Emilio.
Yeah, that's really bad.
Free throw, 18 for 25. That's a 72%. Turnovers, 25. Rebounds, 47. Percent led was 94. And largest lead was 19. I feel like the reason we lost is because if you look at these 3 points, 8 for 35, 23%.
That's true, Musa, but really the real reason we lost, with almost 3 minutes left on the clock, 2 minutes and 43 seconds, the Pistons had 92 points. They did not score a single point. They were on a point drought for the last 3 minutes of the game. You want to talk about reasons why you lose a game? You can't finish? That is the reason. That is so embarrassing.
That's so embarrassing. I don't know how, if we had a percent led of 94, largest lead with 19, 47 rebounds, and we still lost.
Yeah, I mean, the Clippers got the first bucket, never led until the last 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in the game.
That's horrible. We can't have this again.
No, you got to be able to finish these games out. It's actually extremely embarrassing, and it's hard to watch.
Next game, they reverse the Suns on the 15th at 7 p.m. What's up with these late games?
Late games, these West Coast games, Musa.
Yeah, you're right.
Real quick, Musa, let's talk about the NBA standings. Pistons still in first place in the Eastern Conference. They are up 4 games on the Knicks. That is pretty good. It's not comfortable, but it is impressive. They have 4 wins less than OKC. You said we wanted to catch up, but that loss to the Clippers hurts us, man. And by the way, with that loss to the Clippers, we are officially out of best record of all time.
Really?
We can no longer get it. 10 losses ensures it, but that's nothing to be mad about. 28 wins at this point in the season is outstanding. In the last 10 games, however, we are 6 for 4. That Clippers game kills us, Musa. Could have been 7 and 3.
I think OKC already has that record, the best record of all time. I'm pretty sure they already have it.
They're on track, Musa, that's for sure. All right, Musa, with all that being said, let's head over to the section everyone has been waiting for, especially with the big news on Showtime. Let's head over to the Detroit Red Wings. All right, Musa, the Red Wings have played 2 games since we last talked about them. They played the Canucks and they have played the Canadiens. There's one thing I have to highlight, though. Patrick Kane, Showtime. He scored his 5th goal, and he did it in a Red Wings jersey. He's only the 5th American to achieve such a result. Because of that, Patrick Kane is easily going to win my Player of the Week. Congratulations, Patrick Kane.
Congratulations.
So let's talk about that game against the Canucks. Shots, 25. Hits, 13. Penalty minutes, 4. The Red Wings won 45% of the face-offs. They won with a final score of 5-1. Musa, this was a pretty awesome game. Patrick Kane's last goal was scored on an empty net. Lucas Raymond scored after him. But, man, is this just exciting? Patrick Kane achieved this 500th goal in a Red Wings uniform.
That is pretty exciting.
So that's all that I have to say about the Canucks game. Musa, why don't you tell us about the Canadiens?
All right. The Red Wings won 4-0 against the Canadiens. John Gibson was one of the stars of the game with 27 saves and a 1.00 save rate. Alex DeBrincat with 1 goal and 2 assists. Team stats, 24 shots, 14 hits, 2 penalty minutes, and 57.77% on the face-off.
That's right, Musa. Red Wings are currently first in the Eastern Atlantic Division. They have 58 points. Next closest, Tampa Bay Lightning, 57 points. They're right behind us. The only thing, like I've been talking, this goal differential, the Tampa Bay Lightning have a almost 40 goal differential. They're scoring 40 more than the opposition. That's telling you their attacks are outstanding and the defense is great. Red Wings' goal differential is only +3. So we really got to step it up both on offense and defense if we want to ensure this lead.
Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right.
That being said, Musa, Red Wings, they're looking great. Patrick Kane said it. They're on a special run right now. He's in a locker room with a special group of guys, and who knows, maybe these guys can actually make a really deep run in the playoffs. I have no doubt about it.
Playoffs.
That's right, Musa. With all that being said, do you want to call your player of the game now?
I'm calling my player of the game, and it's a hockey player. That's pretty shocking.
This is your first hockey player as player of the week, right?
My player of the week is John Gibson. 27 saves and a perfect save rate.
That is so impressive. That's what helped the Red Wings get that 4-0 lead. And if Showtime didn't score his 500th goal, John Gibson would have been my player of the week. So that's a great pick.
Real quick, before we hit the phones, let's talk about some UofM breaking news. Emilio, our best player, Justice Haynes, is entering the transfer portal.
Oh my goodness, Musa. How big of a loss is this for the Wolverines?
It's not a huge loss, but you don't understand how much I loved Justice Haynes.
Was he your favorite player?
100%. The worst thing to happen for a sports fan is seeing your favorite player going somewhere else.
100%.
100%. But we did keep Andrew Marsh. That's my second favorite player, so win-win.
He became so pivotal to the offense late in the season.
I know. I don't know how he didn't start earlier that season.
Agreed.
Whittingham's getting a bunch of his guys. He's getting a bunch of his former players. He's getting a bunch of his former coaches. Yes, probably is going to turn this facility around.
Are you pretty excited about that, bringing over his old team?
Yeah, this is pretty much going to be the entire Michigan and Utah team. So
The Utah Wolverines?
the Utah Wolverines, the Michigan, whatever the Utahs are.
All right, Musa, with all that being said, let's hit the phones.
All right.
First question comes from Derek in Brighton. Derek wants to know, what do we think of the national championship being between Indiana and Miami? So let me start off with this, Musa, and then I'll hand it over to you. Very interesting that Miami was one of those teams that was not even supposed to make the playoffs. They had that cross comparison that they couldn't make between BYU, Notre Dame, and Miami. BYU lost, then they were able to use the head-to-head matchup between Miami and Notre Dame. It's very interesting that Miami made it in and they made it this far. So I think it's actually pretty exciting. I think Indiana's the best team in the country, though. Watching them play against Oregon, that is extremely impressive, and it's reminding me of LSU in 2019.
2019, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and Joe Burrow are on the same team.
I mean, are you getting that same kind of, energy from this team?
Potentially the greatest offense of college football history.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Musa, what do you think of this national championship game?
Unheard of. Miami and Indiana. I was kind of expecting like Georgia, Ohio State, Texas.
Right, you
Pretty.
wouldn't have predicted this at the beginning of the season at all.
Mm.
Not at all. So let's just real quick give it up for Ole Miss. And man, I wish they would have made it to the playoffs. I wish they would have made it to this game. That would have been so extremely exciting.
I'm not gonna lie. They got cheated against Miami. That was a pass interference call.
I agree. I 100% agree.
But like Miami had like 42 minutes of time of possession.
That's true. Miami controlled the ball the whole time, and they were so dominant in the whole first half.
That was true. That is true.
The second question comes from Vince in Clarkson. Vince wants to know, does U of M's loss to Wisconsin help or hurt the Spartans in their head-to-head matchup? I think that's a great question. I think that one's aimed at me, Musa. No need to be so angry. But I think that loss that U of M had can only help the Spartans show where some of the Wolverines' weaknesses are. I think it will show where the Spartans can take advantage of, maybe some certain plays, or I think Izzo will know what he's doing when he's looking at the film. But I think this is a great advantage for the Wolverines, especially get them rattled up. They haven't lost a game, and they just lost their first to an unranked opponent.
I'm still mad about that game, but that doesn't mean that MSU has a chance to be in the top 5 and to go all the way. That doesn't mean it has.
You're probably going to drop out of the top 5
MSU.
with that loss. You're probably going to drop out of the top 5 with that loss.
Probably, but if we beat the rest of our ranked teams, we could probably get back in the top 5.
Maybe, but I think there's a good chance when we play you, we're going to be in the top 10. That's possible. Now, looking at it, I don't know that we play a ranked opponent before we play you again. But you guys lost. I don't think it'll take you out of the top 10, but, it'd be close. It'd be close if we can get to the top 10 before we play you.
I don't know what your schedule looks like, but it's easy. It's
the same people. We're all playing the Big Ten, Musa.
Big Ten. I'm not talking about Big Ten. I'm talking about ranked teams. Who's the next ranked team you verse?
You.
And when's that? Is that your only
January
next
30th. That's our next ranked game.
Your only next ranked team?
That's our next ranked game.
How many ranked teams do you verse?
Like left, or have we versed so far?
Left.
We have 4 left, Musa.
We have 7 left.
Okay, how many have you played so far?
We've played 3.
We've played 5 so far. So the math is pretty close. It looks like you guys will have played one more ranked opponent by the end of the season if all the ranks stay the same.
Probably would technically means we have a harder schedule.
Technically, but you also lost to an unranked team. So I don't know if you can even be talking like that. That's all we have for today.
Okay,
Just a special reminder of the Gmail in the description. That's how Derek and Vince and others in the past have been able to share their questions. Also, please follow Your Detroit Now on Instagram. That is where all Detroit sports fans are getting all of the latest news and up-to-date information.
Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. Come watch our next video. And this is Your Detroit Now.